Hello and welcome to the Drishti IAS English. I am Aisha, and in this UPSC Prelims 2024 paper analysis, the subject that we will be covering this time is economics. So let's begin. The first question is, consider the following statements. There are two statements given. Statement 1, if the United States of America were to default on its debt, holders of the US Treasury bonds will not be able to exercise their claims to receive payments. Statement 2, the USA government debt is not backed by any hard asset but only by the faith of the government. Which of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So the correct answer for this is option D, that is statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. So if the United States of America were to default on its debt, holders of the US Treasury bonds would still have the legal right. They will still have the legal right to exercise their claims to receive payment. So statement 1 becomes incorrect. The US government debt, that is including treasury bonds, bills and notes, it is not backed by any specific hard asset. So it is not backed by any specific hard asset. Instead, it is backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. Therefore, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option D becomes the correct answer. Next question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, syndicated lending spreads the risk of borrower default across multiple lenders. Statement 2, the syndicated loan can be fixed amount lump sum of funds but cannot be a credit line. Which of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 1 explains statement 2. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. So the correct answer for this question is option C, that is statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is incorrect. So a syndicated loan is granted to a borrower by two or more banks. They are known as participants and is controlled by a single loan agreement. So it is controlled by a single loan agreement. The loan is usually administered by one bank, the agency bank, on behalf of the syndicate member. Syndicated loans are issued by a collection of lenders that combine to credit a major borrower such as a firm, an individual initiative or a government. Syndicated lending primarily aims to distribute the risk of a borrower default across numerous lenders, banks or institutional investors such as pension funds and hedge funds. Therefore, statement 1 becomes correct. The loan can involve a fixed amount of funds, a credit line, or a combination of the two. So, the syndicated loan can be fixed amount lump sum of funds, that is correct, but cannot be a credit line is incorrect because credit line is also there. Therefore, first is correct, second is incorrect. Therefore, the correct answer is option C. Next question. Consider the following statements in respect of the digital rupee. So we have to talk about the correct statement first. It is a sovereign currency issued by the Reserve Bank of India alignment with its monetary policy. Second, it appears as a liability on the RBI's balance sheet. Third, it is insured against inflation by its very design. Fourth, it is freely convertible against commercial bank money and cash. Codes are 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 4 only, 1, 2 and 4. The correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 4. So 1, 2 and 4. It means third is wrong. Let's see. Digital currency refers to any currency that is available in the electronic form. The digital rupee is virtual money, serving the same purpose as physical money. The digital rupee is a centralized digital currency which is regulated by the RBI, maintaining the stability and trust associated with traditional currencies. The digital currency is in the form of a digital token. It represents a legal tender. Thus, digital currency is a sovereign currency issued by the RBI in alignment with its monetary policy. Therefore, first statement becomes right. It appears as a liability on the RBI balance sheet. It is issued in the same denominations that paper currency and coins are currently issued. Therefore, second also becomes correct. It is not insured against inflation by its very design. Therefore, third becomes incorrect. And it is freely convertible against commercial bank money and cash. As in the case of cash, it will not earn any interest and can be converted to other forms of money like deposits with banks. Therefore, fourth is also correct. Which of the statements given above are correct? It is 1, 2 and 4. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. Next, consider the following statements. There are two statements given and the question is asking about the correct statement. India is a member of the International Grains Council. A country needs to be a member of the International Grains Council for exporting or importing rice and wheat. Codes given are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer of this is option A, that is 1 only. So first is correct, second is incorrect. So if we talk about the International Grains Council, so the International Grain Council is an intergovernmental organization that seeks to further international cooperation in grains trade, promote expansion, openness and fairness in the grains sector, and contribute to grain market stability and enhance world food security. India is a member of the International Grain Council. Therefore, first statement becomes correct. Each member is designated as an importer or exporter on the basis of its average trade in grains, rice and oilseeds. A country need not be a member of the International Grain Council for exporting or importing rice and wheat. Therefore, second becomes wrong. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. Next, consider the following statement. Statement 1. India does not import apples from the US. Statement 2. In India, the law prohibits the import of genetically modified food without the approval of the competent authority. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statement? Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct and statement 2 explains statement 1. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. Statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. So the correct answer of this is option D, that is statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. So imports of American apples have surged 40 times in 3 months after India removed the retaliatory import duty on US apples in September 2023. Hence statement 1 is not correct. So India import apples from the United States of America. Then in India, the Food Safety and Standards Act, that is FSSAI of 2006, it prohibits import, manufacture, use or sale of genetically modified food without FSSAI's approval. Therefore, statement 2 is correct. So, statement 1 is incorrect and statement 2 is correct. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. Next question. Consider the following airports. There are 3 airports given, that is Doni Polo Airport, Kushinagar International Airport and Vijayawada International Airport. In the recent past, which of the above has been constructed as a greenfield project? Greenfield project means the project which has started from the scratch, new project. Codes given are 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer of this is option A, that is 1 and 2 only, that is 1, 2, that is Doni Polo Airport, Kushinagar International Airport, while Vijayawada International Airport is not a greenfield project. So the Doni Polo Airport is situated in Arunachal Pradesh and in the capital of Arunachal Pradesh, that is Itanagar. and it reflects the people's reverence of the sun, that is Doni, and the moon, that is Polo, and symbolizes the rich cultural heritage of the state. While Kushinagar Airport in Kushinagar, that is a district of the Uttar Pradesh, is also a greenfield airport, while the Airport Authority of India has undertaken development expansion of the Vijayawada International Airport, which is in Andhra Pradesh, and it is not a greenfield project. Therefore, the correct answer is option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Next question. The total fertility rate in an economy is defined as the number of children born per 1000 people in the population in a year, the number of children born to couple in their lifetime in a given population, the birth rate minus death rate, the average number of live births a woman would have by the end of her childbearing age. I think this you should be knowing. So the correct answer of this is option D. That is, the total fertility rate is the average number of live births a woman would have by the end of her childbearing age. So the average number of children a hypothetical cohort of women would have at the end of their reproductive period if they were subject during their whole lives to the fertility rates of a given period, and if they were not subject to mortality. It is expressed as children per woman. Therefore, the correct answer is option D. The next question is question number 8, that is, consider the following statements. There are 3 statements given. We have to talk about the correct statement. In India, non-banking financial companies can access the liquidity adjustment facility window of the Reserve Bank of India. Second, in India, foreign institutional investors can hold the government securities. Third, in India, stock exchanges can offer separate trading platforms for debt. So the codes given are 1 and 2 only, 3 only, 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 3 only. So the correct answer is option D, that is 2 and 3 only. 2 is correct, 3 is correct, first is incorrect. Let's see. A liquidity adjustment facility is a, what is LAF? So it is a monetary policy tool. It is a monetary policy tool which is used in India by the RBI, through which it injects and absorbs liquidity into or from the banking system. LAF is used to aid banks in resolving any short-term cash shortage during periods of economic instability or from any other form of stress caused by forces beyond their control. Since NBFCs are not banking entities, they cannot access the LAF window of the RBI. So first becomes incorrect. Second, in India, foreign institutional investors can hold the government securities. So the Reserve Bank of India in 2018 has permitted the foreign portfolio investors or FPI to invest in treasury bills which is issued by the central government. So the foreign investors, whether registered as foreign institutional investors or not, may also invest in Indian securities outside the FII route. Therefore, the second statement is correct. Third statement, that is, in India, stock exchanges can offer separate trading platforms for debt. So that is, in 2018, the National Stock Exchange launched the country's first dedicated debt trading platform. The separate debt trading platform provides an opportunity to retail investors to invest in corporate bonds on a liquid and transparent exchange platform. Therefore, third is also correct. Therefore, the correct answer is option D, that is 2 and 3 only. Next question. In India, which of the following can trade in corporate bonds and government securities? Select the correct answer using the code given below. Insurance companies, pension funds or retail investors. Codes are 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Let's see. As per 2022 data, insurance companies are loading up on government securities due to increase in premium collections, even as banks relatively seem to be going slow on this front due to excess investment in these securities. So, insurance companies, government securities, yes. Then in 2021, the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India allowed insurers to invest in debt securities, which is issued by Infrastructure Investment Trust and also Real Estate Investment Trusts. The move is envisaged to improve the overall yield of portfolios which is held by insurance companies while providing more long-term funding to the real estate sector. Therefore, corporate bonds also. So, first is correct. Then second, that is the pension funds. So, the pension funds are allowed to invest in corporate bond securities which have a minimum of A rating or equivalent in the applicable rating scale. Therefore, these entities are mandated to invest in government securities through the respective regulation. Therefore, pension funds can also invest in both corporate bonds and government securities. Then comes the retail investors. So, the retail investors can invest directly in the government securities and by opening a gilt account. So, they can do it by opening a gilt accounts with the banks and the RBI. And recently the SEBI has slashed the minimum ticket size of privately placed corporate bonds. So the privately placed corporate bonds ticket size has been reduced from rupees 1 lakh to rupees 10,000. Therefore corporate bonds also. Therefore all three can trade in corporate bonds and government securities. Therefore the correct answer is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. Next question. Consider the following: exchange traded funds, motor vehicles and currency swap. Which of the above is or are considered financial instruments? 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 3 only. So, the correct answer for this is option D, that is 1 and 3 only. So, 1 is ETF, 3 is currency swap. It means motor vehicles is the wrong one. So, financial instruments. When we talk about financial instrument, they are intangible. They are intangible assets. Intangible assets means they cannot be touched, which are expected to provide future benefits in the form of a claim to future cash. So these instruments can be divided into two types, that is cash instruments and then derivative instruments. So examples of financial instruments include stocks. Examples include stocks, exchange traded funds, bonds, certificate of deposits, mutual funds, loans and derivative contracts. Therefore, first becomes correct. Then, according to the EIMF library, in the past 2 decades, an increasing number of central banks in industrial countries have included foreign exchange swaps. Foreign exchange swaps among the instruments. Therefore, third is also correct. Foreign exchange instruments include currency swaps, foreign exchange options, foreign exchange swaps and are mainly related to currencies. Since a motor vehicle is a tangible, so it is a tangible asset, it does not constitute a financial instrument. So first and 3 are correct. Therefore the correct answer is option D, that is 1 and 3 only. Next, with reference to the sectors of the Indian economy, consider the following pairs. On one side economic activity, on the other side sector is given. Storage of agricultural produce, secondary sector, dairy farm, primary, mineral exploration, tertiary, weaving cloth, secondary. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? Only 1, only 2, only 3, all 4. The correct answer is option B, that is only 2. Let's see. So, first is storage of agricultural produce, that is placed in the tertiary or services sector in the Indian economy, because it is giving the services of the storing the agricultural produce. So it is not tertiary, it is not secondary, it is tertiary in nature. Then comes second, that is dairy farms. So dairy farm comes under the primary sector. Primary activities are directly dependent on the environment, as these refer to the utilization of the earth resources. Therefore second is correct. Then comes mineral exploration. Mineral exploration is a primary sector in the Indian economy. Primary sector includes the extraction of raw material and agricultural and allied activities. Raw material. So third is also correct. Then weaving cloth. So weaving of cloth comes under the secondary activity. So the sector involves production of finished goods. It means some work is being done. So first is wrong, second is correct, third is wrong, and fourth is correct. Therefore, the correct answer is option B, that is only 2. So, first and third are wrong, second and fourth are correct. Next. With reference to physical capital in Indian economy, consider the following pairs. On one side, items are given, on the other side, the category is given. Farmer's plug, working capital, computer, fixed capital, yarn used by the weaver, fixed capital, petrol, working capital. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? Quotes, only 1, only 2, only 3, all 4. So the correct answer is option B, that is only 2. So here physical capital refers to assets such as, so physical capital refers to assets such as building, machinery, vehicles which are owned and employed by an organization. So tools, machines, buildings, plugs, generator, turbine, computers, etc. they can be used in production over many years and so are called fixed capital. They are used for long period of time. The farming plug is an example of fixed physical capital. A plug is a farm implement used to loosen and till the soil in preparation for planting crops. Therefore, statement 1 is not correct because the farmer's plug does not come under working capital, it comes under fixed capital. While the pair 2 is correct, that is computer, which is under fixed capital because computer is used for a long period of time. Then comes yarn used by the weaver and petrol. So production requires a variety of raw materials such as the yarn which is used by the weaver, petrol used in machines, and transportation or the clay used by the potter. Also, some money is always required during production to make payments and buy necessary items. Raw materials and money in hand are called working capital. Therefore, yarn used by weaver is wrong because it is not fixed capital, it is working capital, while petrol is correct, that is working capital. So, farm plug is not working capital, it is fixed capital. So, first is wrong. Computer is fixed capital, that is correct. Yarn used by weaver is not fixed capital, it is working capital. So, it is wrong. Petrol is working capital, that is correct. So, how many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? That is only 2, that is 2 and 4. Next question. So, this was all from this economy section. So this was the economy section of the UPSC CSE 2024 prelims paper, that is GS paper 1. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.